What is up, everybody? Hey, my name is Ryan, and welcome to our Reflections podcast. And hey, a couple of podcast episodes ago, I told you guys one of my favorite quotes from Brennan Manning. If you didn't hear that episode, go back and listen to it. But I thought it'd be fun to go through several of my favorite quotes from different authors or people or thinkers and just share them here and there. I might sprinkle them in between episodes, but here's another one. But I want to give it's a quote by one of my favorite. He's a Jewish theologian named Abraham Joshua Heschel. He's incredible. So read anything you can by Abraham Heschel. But before I tell you what he said, I want to tell you on Sunday, our friend Ben is the director of student and family ministries, and he did this really great thing up front, and he invited all the kids up. And I mean, you probably noticed this, but have you ever noticed how kids are just incredibly, like, they're so good at wonder. Like, they're wide-eyed. They live lives of, like, constant amazement, it seems like. I mean, I'm sure there are some that don't, but a lot of the kids that I run into, they're just like, they are so wide-eyed and full of wonder and amazement. It's amazing. And there's this one young girl in our congregation, and no matter what, she is, like, fully present to life and to herself. And she's, like, this very dramatic, in the best of ways, I mean, dramatic, and, like, almost like a little actor. She's got to be like 5 years old, maybe 4. I forget how old she is exactly, and so Ben calls her forward, and he's like, he had this flower, he put it in this vase, and he was going to change the color of the flower. You can put food coloring in the bottom of these vases with water, and then it actually changes the color of the flower overnight. But he did it, and then he made her look away. He tricked her, and she looked away. And when she looked away, he swapped the roses out really fast. And I was watching from the angle where I could see her face, and he goes, "Oh, hey, look over here. Look at the rose. I changed the color of the rose." And she was like, "Whoa!" She was like, her eyes got huge, her mouth was open, and she was stunned. I'm like, oh my gosh, the joy and the wonder and amazement of little kids. It like warms my heart. And I wonder, like, why are we not like that as adults? It's like life just tends to beat us down, and we lose as we get older, I feel like, this sense of amazement and wonder and awe. And I also think, too, that our lives are full of all kinds of things that begin to erode wonder, if you will. So, okay, I was in Boston many years ago, and Mike and I could not remember if I told this story on the podcast or not, but I'm going to tell it again. And I went and caught the train up to Harvard Divinity School, and I heard this Jewish rabbi lecture. He was lecturing on a modern Jewish theology of creation. And at the end, he said this, I'll never forget it, and then I'll get to the quote. But he said, "Hey, what do people of faith have to offer in a post-Darwinian culture and society?" And everybody kind of leaned in. And he said, "Here's what we have to offer. Here's what people of faith have to offer." He said, "Wonder." I was like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, wonder. Like, people of faith can offer a sense of wonder in the world." And I began to just think, like, what is it? So after I go, "Hey, how do you do this? Like, how do you teach people how to wonder?" Okay, so pause there. But here's the quote from Heschel, and I'll come back to how you teach folks how to have wonder. Okay, here's the quote, because Abraham Heschel writes a lot about this idea of wonder and amazement. And in fact, he sort of defines the fear of God that's commanded in the Old Testament. He says it's actually probably more appropriate to call it the wonder of God, the awe of God, and having this sense of wonder. Here's what he writes. Here's the quote. He says, "As civilization advances, as we become more civilized and build more concrete structures and these kinds of things," he says, "the sense of wonder declines. Such a decline is an alarming symptom of our state of mind. Humankind will not perish for want of information." We got plenty of that. "But only for want of appreciation." He says, "The beginning of our happiness lies in the understanding that life without wonder is not worth living." It's a mic drop right there. Life without wonder is not worth living. And then he says, "What we lack is not a will to believe, but a will to wonder. Awareness of the divine begins with wonder." I love that. And he means that, like, deeply in his core, that faith begins with this wonder, having the sense to, like, look around and with amazement and open eyes like a child become full of wonder and amazement. And there's all these reasons why it's sort of been like eaten away in our lives. Like, we have this sense of rationalism and the modern Western world that's infatuated with rational thinking. And we love science, which is great as well. But because of that, we've lost the sense of the mystery and the unexplainable things in the universe. And the universe is full of amazing things. So here's how you have wonder. because I think you have to practice this. And by the way, Heschel also said another favorite quote of mine. He said, "I didn't ask for success. I asked for wonder." So today, and I asked the rabbi, I go, "Rabbi, how do you do this? How do you have?" He goes, "Look, when I have my kids, he's like my grandkids, I take them out into nature, and I just say to them, 'Hey, look at these birds. Hey, look at these fish over here. Like, look at these trees.' Like, oh yeah, that's pretty simple." And so I began. This was like years ago. I began to practice this myself. Like I walk outside, and if you slow down and just open your eyes a bit and look around, like this is amazing. Like we're on this rock, hurtling through space, and there's incredible things all around us. And I know it sort of becomes mundane because we see it all the time. But what if you just slow down and looked and like, man, those birds are incredible, and I can breathe. Breath, fresh air. I can breathe as it keeps my body alive. My body, how it's working, all that's happening in my body. It's amazing how this is working and what's happening. And the fact that I'm alive and that you're alive and here we are, it's this incredible thing. And like watch an animal, like looking at, sometimes I look at my dog and I marvel, like this is a dog that descended from a wolf, has been domesticated, and he lives in my house. Like, how crazy is this? And he looks at me, and I know he sees me. Like, there's something about animals that just are mystifying, and it fills me with wonder. And so today, my encouragement to you is to begin to look around at the world around you and begin to notice it and see it and have a sense of wonder and ask God, come and fill me with wonder and amazement, and look at the world like a child. Get out in nature and see the way the water of a river just rushes downhill, or the way the trees sway in the wind, or the clouds in the sky. Or go out at night, my favorite thing. Go out at night and just gaze at the moon. I mean, it's incredible. You're seeing light bouncing, from the sun, bouncing off the moon into your eyes. It's incredible. And look at the stars. Get a telescope and just look around and be a person who sees things and is filled with wonder. It just might strengthen and deepen your faith in all kinds of ways you've never seen. All right, be good. Love you guys. Peace. Hey, if you enjoy this show, I'd love to have you share it with some friends. And don't forget, you are always welcome to join us in person at Central in Elk River at 8:30, which is our liturgical gathering, or at 10 o'clock, our modern gathering. Or you can check us out online at clcelkriver.org. Peace.